of me recording, bro. A guy, just like a fucking like middle-aged white dude, just walks in, and the guy just gives him like a bag of weed, and then he just leaves. And I was like, "Oh, it's like, was that your friend?" He's like, "Nah, nah, don't worry about that." I was like, "Well, I didn't want to ask too many questions because he had."
Uh-oh. Slide on up and I'm taking his shoes again. See me on TV, I'm gonna make the news again. Call me the dawn, I'm wearing a cardigan. I got a shorty, but still.
Deepside, bitch.
What's up, dog?
Not much, man. You know, chilling. Just moved into this new apartment, bro. Tired as a dog, but chilling, man. What
Hell
about
yeah.
you?
Oh man, just chilling. It's the first episode of the Deep Side podcast. I don't know the name yet. I don't know what.
Really? Well,
Yeah, I
I
don't
am
know what
honored
name
to
we're gonna
be the
call it.
first episode or first person on. That's cool.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. So, okay, for some background, I guess my first question for you would be, how did you start making music?
Shit, like physically, like started physically making music, like recording music and shit. Yeah, I would
Or
say like when I was in high school, I met what was my band teacher, but like I kind of got cool with him. His name was Mr. Ditmar, really awesome dude, bro. He was like, "Well, hey, I noticed you got like the drive to create and you've got talent. You don't want to just like play the instruments like everyone else." And I was pretty good at playing, so he was like, "You don't need to practice and shit. Like I know you play for fun." Like, cause I was in, I was in jazz band, so we did guitar and drums and bass and shit, but he uh he was like, I have a little studio. We knew there was a studio in the school, but he was like, it's my studio, so like I can let you record in there anytime you want. And of course it was garage band, like early days shit. But
yeah,
I got in there and he had it hooked up to his little old school, freaking Apple computer and stuff. And I just went in there and made a bunch of bullshit. You can actually go, if you go on SoundCloud, go to Rodney Ditmar, bro. It's my teacher's page on SoundCloud, and I have old ass music from like 2015 on that thing, bro.
hell
Crazy
yeah,
shit. But yeah, and I fell in love with it from that point on. The art of creating music, when I knew that I could do it just like anyone else, I was like, shit, bro. That was the early stages of SoundCloud, bro. I was like,
yeah.
I saw X and all of them doing it, and they were blowing up like crazy. And of course, I wanted to, but things don't always happen. Not everybody blows up at 16.
Yeah, nah, facts though. Because I remember I started when I was like 14, and then whenever I was 16, like I was like, oh, I'm gonna blow up, do this, like not have to work a normal job, all this shit. Because
Every
I like,
rapper's first dream.
yeah, like
Yeah.
you wake up, hit the studio every day, and then just be like, man, this is the one. This is the one song, and then you listen to it now, and it's like, this
We
is
making it
fucking,
out of the hood with this one.
yeah, it's fucking trash.
Yeah, every time I go back, like a song by song, like in the order that I've recorded music, every time I go back, I'm like, it gets worse and worse, like progressively worse as it goes back. And I'm like, I really have like changed my whole mindset on grasping how recording audio works, because I had no fucking clue. I just freaking drenched my voice in vocal effects, and was just like, oh, this shit sounds hard, bro. And then put it over a hard tight beat on YouTube and was like, that's it, call it a day. And then I realized really soon, I was like, that's not making me stand out from anybody, bro. But it takes forever. I can tell anybody who starts recording music, it takes forever to figure out your sound, and a lot of artists still are, I think.
Yeah. So like other than music, what would be some of like your hobbies that you really like enjoy doing? Like
Yeah. I grew up skateboarding a lot, so skateboarding's always been a big part of my life. Recently I haven't been out skating just because I've been doing shit. I was working at this car detailing place, and as far as my I was doing that for a while, but I not to veer off the subject. I just got hired at a new place. I start Monday, and it's an actual, like, I'm being an apprentice to become an electrician. So it's like it's a real job,
nice.
So I'm very excited about that. I feel like this is a blessing from God. My life is going to change, because I just been working kid jobs. But as far as hobbies go, the only thing that I really do besides making music is like, I kind of was like looking at like what Glory Mercury was doing, like doing his little Twitch channel and stuff. And I like kind of started getting into that recently. Like I really want to start streaming, and I don't really know what games I want to stream, because I feel like everyone streams Fortnite, and I think Fortnite's cool, but I want to like stream other shit, and I might do that. I don't know. Oh, can I cuss on this podcast? I don't know if I can. As
You can, just don't do it a lot.
Yeah, no, I'll keep. I'm totally cool. I can be a clean mouth if I have to, but
Yeah, you're good.
I'll keep it
Just be you,
professional. My
man.
bad, y'all. My bad, chat. But yeah, man, as far as hobbies go, I mean, music's always been the biggest hobby for me. I wouldn't say it's a hobby, but it's a way of life. You know, I spend most of my time, if I'm not doing work stuff, I'm doing music stuff, whether it's recording, listening to music. I have a bunch of vinyls I've been collecting over the years, and I'd say music is the best and worst part of my life because it consumes all my attention, you know.
Hmm. What would you say is like who's your favorite person that you have on vinyl right now?
On vinyl, I have the Bruno Mars Yellow Brick Road record, and that one is fire.
Yeah.
I mean, I got like the Beatles, you know, Michael Jackson, a few other 80s artists. I don't have too much right now. But I definitely say my Bruno Mars album. It hits. It's got the bangers, Grenade, you know, it's got all the good ones on there, bro.
Yeah.
That
The
was his album that blew
feels.
him up, you know. But
Yeah.
yeah, Bruno Mars is a big inspiration of mine. I grew up, I wanted to sing, but I couldn't, and to this day still cannot grasp singing. You know, like I'm still trying to get good at it, but I feel like it's something that either comes natural or you have to really work hard to get good at. And I had vocal lessons in college, and they even told me, they were like, you can hold a note, but like you're no singer, buddy. Like you're
Yeah.
gonna have to get yourself trained, you know. And unfortunately I stopped going to my lessons, you know, and I left college and everything, but it taught me a lot. The way you have to shape your face and your mouth and your chest, you know, like you have to control all of this to be able to sing good. And it's crazy how people get good at it, you know.
Hmm. So for me, like I guess music was kind of just a way I could be like, oh, I want to be great at something. Like when I started, it was kind of selfish reasons, I guess. It was really more of like I just wanted to be the best. And so it wasn't really like it the love like evolved, I guess, but for me it was always just like, I want to be better than everyone else at it. And I think a lot of that had to do with me just like not really fitting in and stuff and not being able to really just go at it and be like, this is like what I'm really good at. Like, I was only good at like a couple things. So like for you, like did you have any type of, stories like that, any type of, like motivations, like anything that really kind of made you decide like, like this is actually where what I want to do with my life, with music.
Yeah, I can actually tell you the exact moment I realized that. The exact moment I realized I wanted to do music and I wanted to be like, for me, and like how you said, for selfish reasons, sometimes I always felt like the only reason why I was doing it was so I could blow up, get rich and famous, and then throw it in the face of everyone who ever judged me and told me I couldn't do it, which was a lot. I'm not one of those people that's like, I got haters out here, like everybody trying to stop me. That's not the case. I just had a lot of people who, when you bring it up, even people who you love and who support you can still kind of shoot it down as a pipe dream. Like, hey, like we love that you're creative and you make music, but you know, you got to take your life seriously. This isn't something you can play around with. And then when people say that, it kind of fuels your fire of, man, I want to do this even more just because you think I can't do it. But it was for me probably in like high school when I was like 18 or 19. I was recording at an actual studio at that point, and all that music got lost. I was recording with this dude named Louis. I'll not say his full name, his artist name, just to keep people. I'm not trying to throw any dirt on him now, but
Yeah.
back in the day, he was recording me, and pretty much we just got into a disagreement, and he just told me, it was he kind of like, fuck you, or sorry, get out of my studio, I hate you, like we got into a big fight, and then
What
he was
happened?
just like, yeah, and then that at that point, that was my only means of recording, and so I was like, dang, what do I do now? Like, I don't have a microphone. I don't have anything to record with. I wasn't in school because it was the summer before I was going to college. So I didn't have access to the school studio. And it just kind of sucked. And then that was up until like last year, like 5 years of my life. I was in college, and then I got out of college for a year or so, and I didn't have any way to record. Like all the old stuff that I used to send you back in the day when I first met you, that was all recorded off my phone using like
Yeah.
Apple earbuds in the closet, freaking wrapping myself in blankets and recording on Veloco. Like I used to record on the phone on these little old stupid apps. But yeah, and then I knew at that moment that I was like, when you have nothing and you're recording in a closet, you're like, I want to prove everyone wrong. I want to have a home studio. I want to blow up and be able to provide for myself. And I mean, the most I've made off my music is like $40, but to me that's crazy. Like I bought me and my wife dinner with my music, like it's crazy that the access we have now as artists, as independent artists online. It's crazy how you can make music like that now, and just get paid if you blow up. You blow up, you get paid. That's the truth of it, which is really cool in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. So okay, so you said somebody, like kicked you out of the studio. What was like the story behind that?
Oh, okay. So, I guess at that point, you know what? Whatever. I'll throw shade on him. I haven't talked to him since then, and it's just whatever. He was a guy who was a few years older than me. I met him through a friend of the family, and he's a Mexican dude. And me, if you know anything, anyone knows anything about me, I grew up in the hood. I grew up super lower class. I don't have no white friends outside of my family. I'm not a racist whatsoever, and I don't treat anyone with disrespect. Well, I brought my friend over to the studio who is black, and he kept making remarks, kind of be funny. And at first we were like, he's a Mexican dude, so whatever. He's probably just joking. And then
Yeah.
it kind of just got to the points where it was like he was doing it on purpose to kind of just like see if he could push our buttons because we were younger than him.
What
And
was he
then my
saying?
boy took well, he kept saying the N word, like with with ending with A. He wasn't saying the hard R, but he just kept like making it a point to say it, like like what's up, And then my friend was looking at me like this guy, like whatever, but he wasn't tripping on it until he had said something, and then my friend disagreed about he was like, hey, I should double your voice right here on the track or something like that. And then my friend was like, nah, leave it raw. I just want the raw vocals to hear how it sounds. And he was like, whatever, this is your studio, you know how it works, blah blah blah. Like he just started getting angry, and then we were like, it just super tense vibes at that point. And then my friend was like, hey bro, like I don't appreciate the attitude you're giving me. And then they started getting angry, and I was like, yo, I was like, you know what, bro, if this is how it's gonna be, like we came here to record, just to have fun, hang out. And I was like, well, we low-key feel like you've just been going out of your way to be disrespectful. And then he was like, man, y'all get out of my studio, man. I ain't dealing with all this. My house. Well, he started tripping on us. And at that point, we're like, man, this is this dude's house. Like, I'm leaving. And then we just got up and left. And then he was a friend of my mom's boyfriend. And so he called my mom's boyfriend, and she called me and was like, did you go over to his house and start a big scene and all this? And like, what was all that about? And I was just like,
Uh-huh.
oh my God, bro. And then at that point, I was just like, bro, I don't understand why people, a lot of times with musicians clash so much when it comes to art and their music. Everyone is so particular on how they want something to sound that I've seen it several times, and especially in that case with producers and artists not getting along, just being like, nah, like I don't, it's my music, don't change it. And the producer's like, oh, well, you have no idea how to do this, so let me do my job. But then he took it far. I feel like he took it too far. So we left, and just to not cause any problems and fight this dude in his house. And I don't like resolving things with violence. I'm a Texan. We're all about what I'm talking about. We're all about
Yeah.
holding it down, but at the same time, I'm like, there's no need to escalate over some stupid petty stuff.
Yeah, dude, that reminds me of fucking you can curse, I don't give a fuck. But
You can edit it out, right? You can edit it out.
yeah.
Put the bleep
Um
over it.
yeah. So when I was in high school, like right before my senior year, this is around the time I met you, honestly. For people watching, me and him used to work together at Texas Roadhouse, like way back in the day. We used to like go into the back and we would roll like silverware and shit, and we just like play each other's music. And he ended up reaching out to me about like music and stuff. And when I started my label, Westside Queens, like me and bro had already been talking. We had that friendship and that connection. So like it was like an obvious choice to be like, yo, bro, you want to come into Westside Queens and be a part of this? And he was like, yeah. And so since then we've really been working together. That's how me and Jay know each other. But to tie this
Yeah,
back to my story,
yeah.
around the time I was in high school, I actually went to this drug dealer's house, just like in the hood, just like dead ass, like on the other side of town, like the north side, dark as fuck outside. Like I drove like 30 minutes to get home, and I didn't tell my parents that I was going to this guy's house. Like I said, oh, I'm going to the studio. because the guy came off to me as like being kind of legit. He had went to this thing called Full Sail University, and Full
Oh
Sail is where like yeah, like you know about Full Sail. It's like where people
yeah, every
go and they
musician's heard about Full Sail, man.
yeah,
That was
Full
a dream of
Sail.
mine forever, bro. I want to go to Full Sail.
Yeah, I almost went to Full Sail. Um, but yeah, bro said he went to Full Sail University, and one of my other homies kind of put me onto his house. And so I show up there, and I'm like, oh, like I don't smoke weed, so like just if y'all don't do it, just like don't do it around me. And they're like, okay, like that's cool. But then I'm in the studio, and I was recording this song called "Don't Take My Soul." It was like 2 years ago,
Dude,
and
that's one of my favorite songs, bro.
yeah, it was recorded in a fucking trap house, and
It goes hard, bro. It
yeah,
has them trap house vibes.
yeah, like in the process of me recording, bro, a guy, just like a fucking like middle-aged white dude, just walks in, and the guy just gives him like a bag of weed, and then he just leaves. And I was like, "Oh, is like, was that your friend?" He's like, "Nah, nah, don't worry about that." I was like, "Well, I didn't want to ask too many questions because he had,
Uh-oh.
yeah, he had taken the handles off the door. So like, if you see like this door right here, you
Yeah.
see that? Oh, excuse my pajama pants."
No,
But
you're
like,
good.
if you see
You're good.
this door, there was no handle on it. It was just like a little lock. And so I was like, oh, like, why is it like that? He's like, oh, sometimes, man, people don't pay. I was like, oh, well, what do you
Damn,
do if
bro.
they
He put him
don't?
in the dungeon.
Yeah, he said, well, what if they don't pay? He's like, I beat them the fuck up. Like, I was like, oh shit. So he was, bro was fucking getting ready to just like beat somebody's ass if they didn't pay. So that's crazy. I'm glad he got
Deepside's
out of
like,
that
yo, I'm here to make
situation.
music. I am not trying to witness all this right now,
I'm
bro.
like, I'm like, I got $40 on me, bro. Here you go. Like, it's not. It was
Yeah.
like $40. Like,
You're like, hey, it ain't much, but is that enough to not get me thrown in whatever that door is?
yeah.
Nah, bro, that's because I'm the same. Like when it comes to recording music, bro, I got to be in like the zone. I got to be feeling comfortable. If I'm in a situation where I feel uncomfortable, how am I gonna like vibe and record music? There's no way. And I feel you on that. I grew up smoking weed. I've been around people who smoke weed a lot, but when I record, I don't like smoking weed because it affects my throat. It'll make me, just and sometimes like I won't have that like what you like the flow you get whenever you're recording. You're like, oh, it's coming good back to back. When I smoke, it'll kind of discombobulate that. So I get that. Like I've been that way where I'm like, I don't want to have smoke in the room while I'm recording, but other people were like literally lighting up while I'm talking about it, and they're like, oh, well, damn, the vibes are ruined now. Like, oh, we can't smoke in here. But I'm like, bro,
Yeah.
like, come on. There's a difference between like because I get it. Some artists can just do it and they'll smoke while they record, and it's perfectly fine for them. Me, I've
Yeah.
never been able to do that, not once.
Yeah. Me neither, bro. I
I'll
don't. I
mess
don't.
up.
I don't smoke though. I try not to put that out. Like I don't really advertise that I don't drink or I don't smoke really. But for me, it was kind of more of like a personal choice because it was just like
Yeah,
a lot of people in music they kind of get into it, and then when it doesn't really work out, they kind of turn to that. And so I never really
yeah,
wanted to get caught into the cycle of like addiction, like how I saw people around me. So that's kind of where like, especially being on like self improvement and trying to go to the gym, And in high
yeah,
school, I was playing sports, so like if I started doing that stuff, like I was already not that talented, so like it just makes me even worse. And then you
yeah.
get caught up and you get in trouble. Like a lot of my friends back home are like, going to jail and shit, doing all that stuff. So I didn't really want to
That's
get
not
caught up
good,
in it.
man. No, yeah, I
Yeah.
feel you. I definitely, I've been around a lot. I've seen, especially like with people in my family, like my cousins, they were doing hard stuff, and I saw it when I was really young. But there was always just like a part of me that knew that would never be a part of my life. Like when I saw people who would do like hard stuff at parties or just like around, like hanging out. A lot of times I'd be like, hey, I'm gonna dip. Everybody's like, hey, what's the deal?
Hmm.
Like that's their thing. They're just doing their thing. And I'm like, I don't want to be around that because I get that mindset. Me personally, I advocate soberness no matter what. No matter what I do in my life, I'm not gonna be a hypocrite. But I'm also not gonna say like, oh, if you smoke weed, you're a lazy, stoner. You don't do anything good with your life because I know a lot of people who do, and they take care of business and they have a really successful life. But I know people like me, when I do it, I get loopy. I want to sleep. I want to laugh and eat chips and watch TV. Like I'm the classic goofy stoner in a movie when I
Yeah.
do it. So for me, it's like, no, that's an occasional, like on the weekend, like I'm at having a little family get together, I want to get loose, drink a beer or something. But during the week, I cannot drink. I will not do it during the week. And then smoking is like a rare occasion for me now, when it used to be a big part of my life. When I was in high school, I'm glad like someone like you with so much talent didn't get into it that young, because when you start doing it, like I started at 14 smoking, and all the things I wanted to do, like I wanted to be a professional skateboarder. I would be more focused on let's get done skating so we can go smoke, instead of let's go skate, because it used to always be about let's go skate. And I started noticing that when I was around like 17, 18, that I cared more about that than I did skateboarding. And it probably could have inhibited me from going as far as I wanted to go with it, just because I lost the motivation to do it. So no, I feel you on that, bro. I never feel bad or feel pressured into doing that just because it's cool or it's popular. Oh, everyone smokes, bro. Just do it. Just be cool. Okay, you're not being a hipster. It doesn't make you any different because you don't want to. You want to be sober. That is the most respectful, honorable way to live. That's in
Mhm.
my opinion. If you can live through this BS life sober, then you're stronger than anyone else out there.
Yeah,
Because anyone can turn to something to make life easier, but that's the easy way out.
yeah. Well, I think the meeting on Zoom, it says it's running out of time because it says it's got like
Oh yeah,
five
they do
minutes
have a
left.
time limit.
So I guess my last question would be, what would be something that you want people to take away from this interview? What do you want to tell your fans? And, obviously you're going to come back on another podcast, so it's not a big deal. But for the
Yeah,
first
definitely.
episode and stuff, what do you want people to take away from this podcast, watching you speak?
Well, yeah, from this podcast, shout out Deepside. Deepside's been the platform for a long time. His music in West Side Queens has helped push me as well as other people. But I guess what I'd want my fans to know about me and what I want them to take from this podcast is just, be yourself. I know it's like corny and cliche, but like I don't want to go with the whole be yourself. Don't let the haters tell you you're not beautiful or whatever. But not for real. Like when it comes to music, it's never too late. Samuel L. Jackson didn't blow up till he was 38 years old. Harvey, whatever his name is, another actor, he didn't blow up till he was like 50. Some people find their purpose later in life. So if you're struggling, you're 18, you're 20, you're 25, you're 30, you're making music, it's not working out for you. You just haven't had that platform or that exposure to get you out there yet. Once you find that and once you make that music video, you get that connection, that feature, that one thing that'll change you. That's what I want people to get from this podcast, is that what we do with West Side Queens, or what Deepside does with West Side Queens, is he's trying to build an empire to become a platform for people who are struggling artists trying to get their name known. Oh, we'll put you on our platform and it's going to expose you to thousands of more people you could have ever been, listen to your music without us being your platform. So yeah, just shout out Deepside, shout out West Side Queens. I'm super happy that I'm a part of it, and I hope to see you on more podcasts.
Hey, thank you, dog, man. That was J Division Live, man. Go ahead and follow him. You want to say your socials right quick?
Yeah, Instagram official J Division, and everything else is pretty much just J Division as well. JAYDIVISION. Yeah, I
Hell
have a link in
yeah.
my bio on Insta. It's got all my Twitch, YouTube, everything in there. But
Hell yeah.
yeah.
And we'll definitely get that link down below in the comments. So don't even trip on it. Appreciate you, dog. Thank you for coming on and telling you the stories, being on the first episode. Really appreciate you, man. Hey, stay blessed, man.
Of course. Peace out.